Okay, so this is Andrew's work. We're doing shrimp pasta. I think this looks better this time around. We seem to have a little bit more structure and ease of readability. Now, I don't know why we have this particular area centered. I would rather this be flush left so that it aligns to the pea and the shrimp, kind of like what you have over here with your ingredients list. And then I would also say maybe there's something besides the T that can go bigger. I'm just not sure why. I know you're trying to divide up the page, but I'm not sure why just the T. Okay. Again, we're not using graphic aids whatsoever, so we need to get rid of this bar, right? Just make sure for the ingredients list that it makes sense that maybe there's bullet points or there's spaces in between certain sentences, so it doesn't just read as just one block. So 8 ounces fettuccine, that's fine. But then we get to medium shrimp peeled and divined. Might need a little bit more space between 8 ounces fettuccine and this information right here with the medium shrimp. And then I would align this to the left right here and maybe give a little bit more variation with directions and ingredients. Maybe they have the same treatment as shrimp, because shrimp is the only word right here we see in this outline layout. So maybe these can go a little bit bigger and we can apply that outline effect. I think your connotative looks better now that we got rid of the graphic aids. We just need a little bit more alignment. I like what's going on right here with the type being aligned to the left. Careful with how close you're getting to the edge though. That starts to get uncomfortable. I would like for the directions also to be aligned to the left as well. Okay? And you're also getting a little too close to the edge right here. But I think in general, your layout looks a little bit better. Just in little areas right here we need to watch out. Maybe bring the P over here so we have enough white space going on. And then certain areas right here are getting too close to the edge. Either you crop them or you bring them in. Okay? And this too, getting a little too close to the edge. I don't mind this, I don't mind this. I just don't want close to the edge where it becomes uncomfortable. Like that, and like that, and like that, and like that too. Okay, so I think overall maybe this can shrink a little bit smaller, or even pasta can be a little bit smaller. Okay, so that was Andrew's work. Let's move on to Erin's work. So Erin, I think this looks a little bit better. I like that you're using your type this way to get a sense of interest into your layout. I believe this is your, it's connotative and then denotative. Just careful that you're not going too close to certain places on the edge, like the type right here. Okay, so this will be a little bit more weird. Maybe make this a smidge smaller, maybe the same size as the tomato type right here. But I think overall it does look like a traditional recipe. What's different about it is the type treatments right here, and I'm wondering if there is something we can do to bring a little bit more white space. I like the white space here and here, but just kind of bring this down a little bit more where we can maybe see some alignment with the sun-dried tomato title right here. So align ingredients to that, see what that looks like. And maybe the bottom part of the 4, that's where directions starts. Okay, so we have a bit more containment. So that's for your denotative. Let's look at your connotative. I think this is very fun. It's interesting how you have worked with this. It took a lot of time, I'm sure. It looks like the ingredients are in red, which is good to see, a good indication of use of color. Alright, and then the directions are in black. But I like this. I think this is fun. What I am kind of concerned about is seeing that the type is layered on top of one another. I think there's something we can do to maybe bring some of this airiness that you have with your treatments right here with the type and bring that more here. I think that would maybe tone it down a little bit because I think you have so much going on here. And this is great work. And you also have type on an angle here. That maybe just directions is just simple, straightforward, just directions right here in small type, ingredients in small type. And I think that will contain your layout a little bit more. But I think you did a lot of great work here, and it warrants to give it that type of treatment where you get to read everything, but you want to read it. You don't want to like shy away from it because it's too much going on. So let's tone down this part right here. Or what you can do is you can kind of put type on a curve like so, maybe say directions, ingredients, that could be one. Or maybe you put directions on one angle and ingredients on another. Or what you can do is just simply stack what you have here, just to use this treatment right here. Okay, hope that helps. Let's move on to Masoud's work. So good job. I think this is much better. We have a recipe and we also have ingredients and we have directions. That's really good. Careful with how long your line length is. Normally line length should not be more than 9 to 13 words. Okay, so I like how these are right here, but I think those get to be a little too long. So let's zoom in. I think this typeface is a little too heavy. And I like it on the title treatments, but maybe there's something lighter that we can use. Okay, and then I see that you're doing a italics for all your type, and this kind of seems to be the only area where the italics goes this way because of how the type is stacked. Maybe there's that overall sense of movement, that light diagonal that can still follow through with your ingredients list. But I would like to see this a little bit lighter. It's still a little bit too jarring to read, especially when you use bold at this small size. And I like how you've divided up your recipe title treatment. Okay, certain areas can be in bold, but not everything. And if you want, guys, you don't have to just focus on your group and your critique. Do look at other videos and look at what people have done. They've done some great work using bold and a light face. So definitely get some ideas and see if there's something that sparks some interest there. So for your connotative, I think this works nicely, how you've drawn a tuna roll and the chopsticks. This works well. Just want to make sure that it reads properly. So maybe, I'm not sure if you can add more words, maybe in certain areas. Maybe like here where it's only one word. And I would like to see maybe this moved up a little more because it's getting too close to the edge right now. And maybe there's something with spicy tuna roll that kind of brings more to this side of your layout right here. I know you're trying to use type in certain areas of other letter forms, but see if there's something we can do to close up this space because it's creating this weird shape. Okay, just work on this part a little bit more, and also the edges right here, getting too close to the edge. Hope this helps out. Then we are going to move on to Jonathan's work. So Jonathan did Swiss roll cake. Okay, so I think both of those layouts, the denotative and the connotative, are still a little too safe. Let's start with your denotative. I think it's nice that you've divided up your information very simply and straightforward, but I still think it's very safe. There's something that needs to change. I like that we've used big type for your title like this, but maybe there's something else we can bring in here. So maybe the part where it says cake, that can house certain parts of like maybe your ingredients and marshmallow filling, and then roll can have certain areas like your paragraph for cake, and then Swiss can have like marshmallow filling. Something to just bring a little bit more interest into your layout, because I think right now this just looks like a manual, and I don't want this to look like a manual. I still want it to read like a recipe card. But I do like your scale treatment with your title, and I want to make sure that that can reinforce the different parts of your layout. Okay. For your connotative, I think it's nice that we've added certain elements like the swirls right here. I still think maybe there's something about this type right here that needs to change. I'm not sure yet, but the rivers do annoy me. Using these spaces in between just to fill up the paragraph, big no-no in type. We never do rivers. So either flush left or flush right, or you maintain the center axis. Okay? But try to see if we can work a little bit more on that. And also, you know, a little bit more white space. Same with this, we need more white space in certain areas, like so. Okay? So see if there's something we can do to eliminate those rivers that we're getting right here. Okay? Let's move on to Gisela's work. Gisela is doing yummy cheesecake. This looks better. I like that it's been simplified more. This is the denotative. This is the connotative. Yeah, so let's start with your connotative. I'm sorry, your denotative. Let's see if we can do flush right, not centered. And there's not really much of a reason why this needs to be centered. And also numbers next to a centered layout don't really make sense. I would just align to the left. Okay? And then kind of align the type where the top of the H matches preparation, right? And then you're getting too close to the edge in certain areas. I mean, I would even say right here, you're getting too close. I would say maybe shrink down cheesecake. This adds more space for you to bring your two paragraphs together. And then I would say address this white space somehow, because it is creating an awkwardness in your page where it's the only area you see that hasn't been used or treated. So, and we do need more white space in these areas like so. Right? Now for your connotative, I think this is way too close to the edge. It becomes very uncomfortable to read. And we're getting rid of those lines right here because we are only using type. If you want to create that effect, I would suggest look at some of the work that people have done, how they've actually addressed creating images out of their type. Okay? But I think we need to do another round for our connotative where we first bring in a little bit more space. We don't add that much type to the edges like so. And if we're trying to create a cake, I think it's something that you're still struggling with for now. And if this is too difficult for you, I say choose something else, because I'm definitely not seeing a cake-like figure if it wasn't for this outline that you're doing with your layout. I'm trying to think what you can do as another layout option, but see if there's something you can do with maybe the way the instructions are probably stacked on top of one another, or maybe your ingredients list somehow. But you don't always have to put things that have to be illustrative together for your layout. It can be how you divided up your information on the page. So that could be something worth looking into. So if you have your recipe, the title for your recipe, you have your ingredients, you have your preparation, and then you have maybe a pull quote. And that could be more than enough to experiment with. So let's try to see if we can do another round that looks different than this. Okay? So this brings me to the end of the critique, and I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys for the next round of critiques next week once I get another round from you. And I will have the assignment ready in Blackboard, but please follow the videos to hear more feedback about your work, and please look at work from the class, get inspired. There's some really good examples for denotative and connotative recipes. And see what people are working on. It's always fun.